Chosen one, pause everything for just a moment. Something extraordinary is happening tonight, and it has everything to do with you. You didn't click this video by accident. You didn't arrive here by chance. This is a divine appointment, and if you're here, it means God has selected you for something so powerful, so deeply spiritual, that it will shake your understanding of reality. What if I told you that your body, yes, your physical, everyday body, is being upgraded right now by the hand of God? That even as you listen, there are divine codes being activated inside your cells. And what if this is why you've been feeling so out of place lately? The exhaustion, the mood swings, the sensitivity, the strange dreams, the pull to be alone, the feeling that something bigger is unfolding, but you can't quite name it. You've been sensing something, haven't you? That's not your imagination, that's the signal. And tonight, it becomes undeniable. God is not just renewing your mind or lifting your spirit. He's upgrading your entire body. And the truth is, you may not even recognize yourself by tomorrow morning. That's how deep this transformation goes. Now, listen carefully. Your old form, the version of you that could survive but not thrive, that could dream but not manifest, it's being dissolved. Tonight, the carbon-based shell you've carried for years will begin to shed. In its place, God is constructing a crystalline body, lighter, stronger, more radiant, and aligned with the higher frequencies of heaven. But here's the mystery. Why now? Why you? And what exactly does this transformation unlock for your destiny? Before we dive in, take a moment to breathe and reflect. If this message is already stirring something within you, if you feel the chills, the inner knowing, the rising energy, comment 777 below. Let heaven and earth know that you're ready, that you receive this word, and that you will not sleep through the most important upgrade of your life. And to all those beautiful souls who have supported this channel through super thanks, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Your kindness and support allow this message to continue touching lives across the world, reaching those who need it most, even in their darkest hour. But now, we go deeper, because what's about to be revealed may change how you see yourself, your body, your purpose, and your connection to the divine. So don't turn away, don't scroll, don't let this pass you by. You're standing at the edge of a miracle, and if you lean in with faith, everything can shift. So, what is really happening to you tonight? And what has God been preparing you for this entire time, without you even knowing? Stay with me. Let's step into the mystery together. God's chosen ones, God is upgrading your body tonight. Stay awake. Tonight is not just another night on the calendar. It is the divine turning point that heaven itself has waited for. This is not a coincidence, nor some random stirring in your soul. God has orchestrated this moment long before you even understood who you were. The chapter that is closing was never meant to be permanent, and the chapter opening now is not just new, it is sacred. This is the night your spiritual journey breaks into a whole new dimension. What once felt distant and impossible is now being drawn into alignment with God's timing for your life. You, the chosen one, have reached a spiritual threshold. It is the place where the old version of yourself fades into the background, and the person God destined you to be begins to emerge in full clarity. Can you feel it? That quiet shaking within. That subtle but powerful realization that something irreversible is happening within you. This is no ordinary transformation. This is the fulfillment of a divine decree, a transition written not just in the stars, but inscribed into your very soul before you were even born. This moment echoes the story of Jacob in Genesis 32. Alone at night, wrestling with an angel until dawn, Jacob was not just fighting for answers, he was wrestling for his transformation. And when the morning came, he walked away changed, both spiritually and physically, with a new identity and a new name, Israel. What if tonight is your Peniel moment? What if the wrestling you've endured was never punishment, but preparation for the name, purpose, and power God is now bestowing upon you? You may not fully grasp what's happening within your body or spirit right now, and you're not meant to understand it all. transformation often arrives before comprehension. Trust that the Spirit of God is leading every cell in your body, every thought in your mind, every stir in your heart. This upgrade is tailored just for you, not because you earned it, but because you were called for it. Every prayer you've whispered, every tear you've cried, every silent moment of surrender, God has collected them all and used them to mold the version of you that is now being revealed. And this isn't just about a mindset shift or spiritual enlightenment. This is physical. Your body is beginning to align with higher frequencies. The carbon-based structure you've known all your life is being gently recoded into something extraordinary, a crystalline body capable of housing the fullness of divine energy. Sound unbelievable? Imagine Moses coming down from Mount Sinai after being in the presence of God. His face shone so brightly that the Israelites were afraid to look at him. Exodus 34:29-30. What if that same radiance is now beginning to shine through you? This isn't fantasy, it's divine reality. But as with all births, it comes with labor. You may feel emotional waves, random aches, or sudden fatigue. These aren't signs that something's wrong. They are signs that something sacred is being activated. Like a caterpillar in its cocoon, your discomfort is proof of the wings being formed in secret. Are you willing to let go of the old skin so you can rise in your new glory? Real-life transformational moments often begin in silence. Eckhart Tolle, the spiritual teacher known worldwide, once described how he experienced a radical spiritual awakening during one night of intense despair. He said, "I couldn't live with myself any longer." And then it struck him. Who was this self he couldn't live with? That moment of breakdown became the beginning of his breakthrough. Could it be that your discomfort tonight is not the end of you, but the end of the false you, so the divine you can finally arise? Even now, your body is becoming more attuned, lighter, more responsive to divine signals, more sensitive to the frequencies that govern the spiritual realm. You're not just shifting emotionally or spiritually, you're stepping into a new dimension of existence. What used to weigh you down, fear, doubt, shame, judgment, is falling off like chains that were never meant to stay. Haven't you always felt it, since childhood, that sense of being different? That you didn't quite belong in the same way others seemed to? You were never meant to blend in. That loneliness you carried was a signpost, not a curse. The rejection was redirection. People may have labeled you strange, intense, too deep, or too sensitive, but they were speaking from their dimension, not yours. They couldn't decode your mission because they were never assigned to understand it. Just like Joseph's brothers couldn't see the dreamer's destiny, even as he wore the coat of many colors, you were being trained in secret, molded through hardship, refined through fire. Just like Joseph, you were misunderstood until the moment your true purpose was unveiled. Now is that moment. So the question isn't, are you ready? The real question is, will you embrace who you've always been beneath the layers? Will you walk through this divine upgrade with faith, even if your mind can't make sense of it yet? Will you step forward tonight, not because you feel confident, but because you know you've been called? The heavens are watching, the angels are standing by, and God is whispering to your soul, "This is the night I transform everything." Now, as the veil between your spiritual and physical self begins to dissolve, something miraculous is unfolding within you. You are not merely witnessing change, you are the change. Tonight, you are being gently ushered into a reality that is far more expansive, deeply interconnected, and overflowing with divine love than anything your past self could have fathomed. This isn't just a good moment, it's a sacred appointment. You have been divinely selected to walk through this exact transformation at this precise time. Can you sense it? The pull of something greater calling you forward. The tugging in your soul that tells you, without words, this is it. The moment you've been prepared for your entire life. God does not operate on randomness. This shift is the unfolding of destiny. You, God's chosen one, are being awakened to the truth of your identity. You are not just a person. You are a being of radiant light, born of divine love, created in the image of unity itself. In Romans 8:19, the Apostle Paul writes, for the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. That revelation is happening in you right now, and as you shed the old beliefs and bodily limitations, you're rising into that truth, no longer hidden, no longer confined, but revealed, alive in your divine nature. Your body, this sacred temple, is undergoing a remarkable metamorphosis. The heaviness of the past, the density of fear, shame, and unworthiness, it's all falling away. And though it may feel like things are breaking down, what's really happening is a breaking open. Your carbon-based structure, the very composition that once tied you to this material world, is being transformed. You are shifting into what some mystics have called a crystalline body, one more attuned to heavenly frequencies, one capable of transmitting and receiving divine energy with clarity. Think of it like the process of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. The cocoon doesn't just open overnight. Inside, the old form dissolves, it melts down, cells restructure, shape reforms, and it is through that process of what appears to be disintegration that beauty is born. So let me ask you this. Could the aching you feel be the echo of wings being formed? Could the fatigue, the buzzing, the tears, all be signs that you are being readied for flight? This moment is sacred, even when it feels unfamiliar. Fatigue may come, headaches, emotional waves. But remember, what you're feeling is not a breakdown. It's a breakthrough. Your cells are learning to breathe differently. Your energy is aligning with heaven. So be kind to yourself. Whisper prayers of gratitude over your body. Speak life into your transformation. Be patient with the process, because every discomfort is proof that something holy is happening. You are not falling apart. You are falling into purpose. Consider this. Jesus didn't reveal his glorified body until after he had endured the cross and risen again. In Luke 24:31, the disciples on the road to Emmaus did not even recognize him until he broke bread with them. Transformation always comes with mystery. Sometimes even those closest to you won't understand what's happening in you, because your new self is being birthed from a realm they have not yet tasted. Your purification is necessary, and this purification is not about becoming someone new, but about returning to who you've always been. Your body has long supported you through trials, storms, and victories, but now it is evolving. What once kept you grounded is now lifting you higher. You are transitioning from being simply alive to becoming illuminated. Crystals, unlike carbon, reflect and refract light, and that is what your being is beginning to do. Your cravings may shift. You may feel drawn to foods full of life, fruits that hold sunlight, vegetables that echo creation. This isn't a diet. It's divine design. Your body is recalibrating, tuning itself to heaven's frequency. Even Nikola Tesla, the visionary inventor known for tapping into unseen energy fields, once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." What if your body is now learning to live by those same divine frequencies? As you enter this new phase of spiritual awakening, your transformation extends beyond the physical. It's a full consciousness realignment. The fears that once haunted you, the doubts that held you hostage, the scarcity mindset that dimmed your light, they're being traded for something higher. Love, radiance, divine unity. You're moving from the third-dimensional world of matter and into the realms of higher vibration, where truth flows freely and love is the dominant frequency. This is the world your soul remembers, the home you've longed for, even if you couldn't name it. So pause and ask yourself, have you ever felt a knowing that couldn't be explained? A memory not tied to this lifetime? A sense that you were created for something that goes beyond success, beyond survival, beyond even spiritual insight? You're not imagining it. That knowing is real. It is God whispering to your soul, "Come higher." Tonight is not just the beginning of a better version of you. It is the awakening of your eternal self. Let it happen. Let yourself rise. You are awakening now to a deeper truth, a sacred reality where all things are divinely connected. What once felt separate and distant is now revealing itself as one vast, flowing energy, all anchored in spirit. As your awareness rises, your perception begins to shift. You no longer see the world as fixed or fragmented. Instead, you begin to see the divine fabric behind everything, a universe woven together with light, intention, and love. What used to feel solid now reveals itself as fluid and full of life. This is not fantasy, it's spiritual sight finally coming into focus. Can you feel the difference? The way your thoughts seem to carry more weight, the way your presence feels charged with new clarity. This is what it means to walk in the Spirit and no longer be bound by the flesh, as Paul describes in Romans 8:5. Those who live according to the flesh have their minds set on what the flesh desires, but those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their minds set on what the Spirit desires. And now your mind is being set free. As this higher frequency begins to pulse through your being, you'll start to notice the world around you responding in kind. People, events, and even nature will feel different, more alive, more responsive, more in tune. The veil between the material and spiritual realms is thinning. You may begin to feel as though you're living in two worlds at once, and in many ways, you are. The physical world doesn't disappear, but you begin to see it through new eyes. Eyes touched by spirit. Eyes that see beneath the surface. But this awakening does not come without challenge. With new vision comes the necessity of releasing the old thought patterns, limiting beliefs, emotional wounds, and behaviors that no longer resonate with your higher self. These must be surrendered. Will you be willing to let go of what you once clung to so you can fully embrace what God is trying to hand you now? This letting go might feel like loss, but in truth, it is the divine making room for something greater. As Jesus said in Luke 5:37-38, "No one pours new wine into old wineskins. New wine must be poured into new wineskins." You, dear chosen one, are becoming the new wineskin, and the spiritual wine God is preparing to pour into you is too sacred for the containers of your past. As your vibration shifts, the signs will not be just spiritual, they will be physical. You may begin to feel unusual sensations, tingling in your hands and feet, a lightness in your limbs, or waves of warmth moving through your body. These are not symptoms of illness, they are sacred signals. Your very cells are aligning with a higher frequency, recalibrating to match the energy of divine love and truth. You are not imagining this. You are awakening. Emotionally too, you will feel the difference. Your heart may soften. Tears may come more freely, not from sorrow, but from a sense of deep connection to the world and the people in it. You may find yourself overwhelmed by beauty in the simplest of things. The way sunlight filters through trees, the sound of laughter, the quiet moments of stillness. This is your empathy expanding. Your soul is remembering its oneness with all creation. Maya Angelou, the late poet and civil rights activist, once said, "We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike." As your frequency shifts, you'll feel the truth of that more than ever. You'll begin to recognize yourself in others, not just those who agree with you, but even those who challenge you. And still, you'll feel the pull to rise above judgment and lean into love. Why? Because love is your true frequency now. And yet, with that elevation comes separation. Not everyone will understand what you're going through. Some people in your life may no longer resonate with you. Conversations that once felt nourishing may now feel draining. Environments that once excited you may now feel stifling. This is not rejection, it's redirection. Just as Abraham was called to leave behind his homeland for a land God would show him, Genesis 12:1, you too are being led away from what is familiar into what is divinely appointed. Will you have the courage to walk away from what no longer serves your growth? Will you release the old connections, even if it means walking alone for a while, knowing that God is walking beside you every step of the way? This vibrational elevation is sacred, it is personal, and it cannot be rushed. No one else may understand the depth of what you're experiencing. But take comfort in this. God understands. The Spirit understands. And those who are also chosen will recognize your frequency and be drawn to you, not by effort, but by resonance. You are being prepared for a new season of unity. A life where your thoughts, words, emotions, and actions vibrate in harmony with divine will, where love is no longer a concept, but a force that flows through you. This is what it means to become one with the Spirit, to not just believe in God, but to become the vessel through which God's presence flows. So embrace the tingling, embrace the solitude, embrace the shifts, because they are all proof that you are being transformed into the radiant being you were always meant to be. And as you move forward, remember, you are not just awakening, you are being reborn. You may not have fully realized it yet, but something extraordinary is happening within you. One of the most sacred elements of your transformation is the divine shift from separation to sacred unity. For generations, humanity has been trapped in a mindset of duality, us versus them, light battling darkness, right fighting wrong. But now, God is calling you, His chosen one, into a new way of seeing, living, and being. As your body is upgraded into its crystalline form, your perception begins to shift from conflict to connection, from division to divine wholeness. Have you started to feel it? The subtle yet powerful pull towards something more, something eternal. In this new vibrational state, you begin to see the world not as fragmented, but as one seamless tapestry woven together by God's presence. The illusion of separation fades, and you start to feel, perhaps for the first time, that everything is intimately connected. Just as Jesus prayed in John 17:21, that they all may be one. As thou, Father, art in me and I in thee, you are now stepping into the reality of that oneness. You are no longer merely human, you are divine consciousness in form, walking this earth with divine purpose. Think about it. What if your enemies, your setbacks, even your deepest pains were never separate from your path, but essential parts of the same divine plan that's now unlocking in you? As your frequency rises, you will recognize the divinity, not just within yourself, but within every living thing. The love of Christ within you will shine so brightly that others can't help but feel it. And the beauty of this awakening, it doesn't just bless you, it radiates outward, gently awakening others to the same truth. This revelation may stretch your mind and heart. You may feel conflicted as old ways of thinking begin to unravel. But what follows is peace beyond understanding. When you grasp that all is one and that love is the highest law of the universe, you stop striving and start aligning. Love, not fear, becomes your compass. In 1 John 4:18, the Bible reminds us, there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. You begin to realize that embodying love is the most powerful alignment with God's will. Your new crystalline body isn't merely a physical shift, it is spiritual architecture being rewritten. It is a vessel of divine energy, capable of channeling spiritual frequencies that were once beyond your reach. Just as Moses' face shone with divine light after encountering God on Mount Sinai, Exodus 34:29, your very presence begins to carry light that transcends earthly understanding. This body of light is not limited by the constraints of the material world. It is resilient, adaptive, and highly sensitive to the vibrations of heaven itself. Have you noticed a difference already? A lightness in your spirit, a sudden burst of clarity. These are not coincidences. As you embrace this divine transformation, you may feel more alive, more energized, and more attuned to the unseen. This evolution is not merely for your health, but for your mission. The crystalline body is a bridge, connecting you to realms of spirit, where your true instructions await. You are stepping into the body that will carry you into your next assignment from God. As you move deeper into this transformation, you may encounter unusual symptoms, physically, emotionally, even mentally. But don't panic. These are not signs that something is wrong. They are signs that something sacred is being born. Your fatigue, your body aches, your shifting appetite, these are your cells recalibrating for the higher frequency you are stepping into. It's the divine renovation of your temple. Romans 12:2 speaks directly to this. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Even your emotions may fluctuate wildly. You might feel bursts of inexplicable joy or sudden waves of sadness. These aren't setbacks, they are sacred releases. Your emotional field is aligning with your soul's vibration. Mentally, your thoughts may become sharper, your intuition deeper, and your visions more vivid. Like the prophet Daniel, who received dreams and visions that revealed divine mysteries, Daniel 7, you too are being equipped to receive heaven's whispers in your waking life. There's a quote from Steve Jobs, the visionary co-founder of Apple, who revolutionized the way the world communicates. Though not considered a religious figure, Jobs once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." That crazy conviction, the unwavering belief that something greater lies within you, is the same divine fire now being activated inside your very cells. What if your spiritual awakening isn't just about personal healing, but about impacting the world in ways you've only begun to imagine? Jobs often spoke of following intuition, describing how he trusted invisible threads pulling him toward purpose. Similarly, you may now feel guided by a force beyond logic, a knowing beyond reasoning. Could it be that this inner pull is your spirit responding to God's divine upgrade, preparing you to lead, to inspire, to break barriers others are too afraid to face? This journey is not about perfection, it's about progression. You're not here by accident. God is upgrading your body tonight because you're being prepared for the next phase of your purpose. So stay awake, stay in the light, stay in the awareness of who you truly are, because the world is about to witness the unveiling of a chosen one, and that chosen one is you. One of the most powerful and undeniable signs that God is upgrading your body is the sudden shift in your cravings, not just emotionally or spiritually, but physically. Have you noticed that your taste for food is changing, almost without explanation? It's not coincidence. As your energy begins to rise and your vibration aligns with divine frequencies, your body instinctively begins to reject what no longer nourishes your higher self. You may find yourself naturally turning away from heavy, processed or artificial foods that once satisfied you, and instead feeling drawn to vibrant, life-filled foods. Fresh fruits, organic vegetables, living greens, and pure water. These high-vibrational foods aren't just good for your health, they are aligned with your new crystalline frequency. Your body is being restructured on a cellular level, and it now craves substances that carry light and life. In Genesis 1:29, God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food." This was not only a provision, but a reflection of divine design. Food as living energy. What if your new appetite is a divine signal pointing you back to the garden's blueprint? This craving isn't simply about physical nutrition, it's about spiritual alignment. The foods you're being called to consume are now vehicles for divine energy. They don't just fuel your body, they support your ascension. As you continue to awaken and evolve, these foods will help your body maintain its spiritual resonance. Think of them as tuning forks, keeping your system in harmony with love, light, and truth. Can you sense how each bite affects your mood, your thoughts, your clarity? That's not imagination, it's evidence of your transformation. Even famous people who experience profound internal awakenings have reported these same changes. Actress and humanitarian Angelina Jolie once shared that during periods of spiritual and emotional breakthrough, she found herself simplifying her diet dramatically, saying, "I started to eat less of what was easy and more of what gave me energy. I needed to feel alive, and heavy foods weighed me down." You too are being awakened, not just emotionally, but physically, and your body is guiding you toward what your soul needs to rise. In this sacred season of change, another sign may surprise you. Your sleep is changing too. Have you recently felt the need for deeper rest? Maybe you're sleeping longer or waking from dreams that feel more like visions. This is not laziness or fatigue. It's divine realignment. Your spirit is working with your body in ways your conscious mind can't always grasp. Psalm 127:2 says, "He grants sleep to those he loves." While you rest, heaven works. Your dreams may begin to shift in tone and texture. What once felt like random stories may now carry powerful spiritual meaning. You may see faces, symbols, or scenarios that seem to speak directly to your journey. Do you ever wake up feeling like you were somewhere else, speaking with someone unseen. That's because your soul is now more connected to the higher realms. During sleep, you are being visited, guided, trained. Just as God spoke to Joseph through dreams, revealing future events and preparing him for divine assignment, Genesis 37:5-10, He is now using your rest as a portal of communication. Don't dismiss these dream encounters. Even if they seem mysterious, write them down, reflect on them, and ask for wisdom. These nighttime messages are part of the blueprint being revealed for your next season. This is a time of divine intimacy. Your body is being fed with light, and your soul is being fed with revelation. You are not just changing, you are ascending. Your physical temple is being rebuilt to house a higher level of spiritual authority. As you continue to eat from the table of life and rest in the arms of the Almighty, you are being prepared for more than survival. You are being prepared for dominion. So listen closely to your body, to your dreams, to your soul's whisper in the quiet hours of the night, because your Creator is speaking. The upgrade has begun, and you are being called to rise. As your body continues to ascend into its divine upgrade, your energy and perception will begin to shift in ways you may not have anticipated. Have you noticed subtle changes in how you see the world? Perhaps lights seem to flicker where they didn't before, or colors feel more vibrant, almost alive. These are not mere illusions. What you're experiencing is the veil thinning. Your spiritual sight is awakening. For the first time, you're beginning to see not just with your physical eyes, but with the eyes of your spirit. This is part of God's greater plan for you. Just as Elisha prayed in 2 Kings 6:17, "Open his eyes, Lord, so that he may see." And suddenly his servant saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire. Now your eyes too are being opened to the invisible realm. The once hidden energies and divine presences that surround you are slowly revealing themselves. You may begin to perceive a shimmer in the air or see ethereal movements just at the edge of your vision. These glimpses are not hallucinations, they are confirmations. You are becoming spiritually attuned. At first, the changes may feel subtle, even strange, but soon flashes of light, geometric patterns, or even angelic beings may begin to manifest in your awareness. Don't be alarmed. You are not losing your mind. You are gaining divine insight. Your spirit is learning a new language, one written in light, energy, and revelation. Why would God grant you this gift now? Because you are being prepared for something far greater than what the material world can offer. Many chosen ones throughout history have reported similar awakenings. Consider Sadhu Sundar Singh, a former Sikh who became a Christian mystic in early 20th century India. After an intense period of spiritual seeking, he began to experience radiant visions of Christ and the angelic realms. He often described the world as a shadow compared to the vibrancy of the spiritual dimension. Just like you, he had to learn to trust what his heart was seeing, even when his mind could not comprehend it. As your frequency rises, the world around you will begin to feel less solid, less fixed. You'll begin to perceive the energetic fabric that holds all things together, the interconnected web of divine intelligence that sustains everything. Isn't it remarkable to consider that what we once thought of as reality is only a small sliver of the truth? Paul described this beautifully in 2 Corinthians 4:18. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. Your eyes are now beginning to fix themselves on eternity. But let's be honest, transformation is rarely comfortable. The more you begin to awaken, the more disoriented you may feel. You might experience moments of confusion, deep questioning, or emotional overwhelm. At times, it may feel like the ground beneath your feet is shifting, as if you're no longer certain of anything. This uncertainty, though uncomfortable, is not a mistake. It is holy. Why? Because confusion is the sacred space between who you were and who you are becoming. In this in-between space, God does his most intimate work. Just as the Israelites wandered in the wilderness before reaching the promised land, so too must you walk through the unknown. But remember, the cloud by day and the fire by night were always with them, guiding, protecting, and revealing the way forward. Have you noticed signs, synchronicities, or moments of divine timing lately? These are your pillar of cloud and fire, marking the path even when clarity feels distant. It's okay to question what you're going through. It's okay to have doubts. Even Jesus, in his humanity, cried out in the garden, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death," Mark 14:34. Yet even in his agony, he surrendered fully to the Father's will. Can you find the courage to do the same, to embrace the chaos as holy, to accept the confusion as the doorway to clarity? Because soon the fog will lift, your sight will sharpen, and what once confused you will become your greatest source of wisdom. Your current uncertainty is simply God's invitation to walk by faith and not by sight, because the truth is being revealed, layer by sacred layer. And you are not alone in this. All across the world, other chosen ones are rising, awakening, and walking through similar transitions. You are part of a divine remnant, a spiritual family being prepared for something monumental. Keep your heart open, stay receptive, trust the process, even when it feels messy, because before long, everything will come into focus, and you'll realize that God never left your side. Tonight is no ordinary night. Tonight is sacred. It is the divine hour your spirit has longed for, the moment heaven has prepared for you since the foundations of your journey were laid. After all the pain you've endured, after the confusion, the trials, the late-night prayers, and the lonely seasons, this is the threshold. You are not merely stepping into a better version of yourself. You are stepping into your true self, the one God always saw, even when you could not. Have you sensed it building, the gentle stirring in your soul that something monumental is shifting? This moment is not random. It is the fruit of your obedience, your resilience, your quiet faith when everything around you whispered doubt. You are now entering a realm of love, light, and unity, a new reality where fear no longer dominates and separation no longer defines your path. This transformation is your divine inheritance. It's not something you have to earn. It's who you were always created to be. The question is, will you embrace it with open arms or hesitate at the door? Just as Jacob wrestled with the angel through the night and came out with a new name, Israel, so tonight you too are being renamed in the Spirit. Genesis 32:24 through 28. You're being redefined by heaven. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a brand new book written by the author of life himself. The days ahead will not just happen to you, they will unfold through you. Each day your spiritual senses will sharpen. Your choices will align more deeply with your divine calling. Your journey is being divinely orchestrated. And though you may not see the full picture yet, know this: every step from tonight onward is being guided by God's sovereign hand. And this transformation, it's not merely physical. What's happening to you now is an unlocking of the divine power that has been dormant within you for far too long. For years, perhaps even since childhood, you felt the ache, that deep knowing that you were meant for something more. That calling was never a fantasy. It was the quiet voice of your soul, longing to remember who you truly are. Just as Paul wrote to the Ephesians, "Awake, O sleeper, rise up from the dead, and Christ will give you light." Ephesians 5:14. Tonight your awakening is being sealed. The old has passed. The veil is lifting. The dormant spiritual gifts you've carried, discernment, healing, prophecy, divine creativity, are being activated by the Spirit of God. Before he became a global symbol of transformation, Malcolm X went through a radical spiritual awakening while in prison. He later said, "My alma mater was books, a good library. I could spend the rest of my life reading, just satisfying my curiosity." What many don't realize is that this awakening changed the entire trajectory of his life, and through him, the world. Your spiritual upgrade is no less significant. Your awakening tonight may change someone else's life tomorrow. So pause for a moment and breathe deeply. Can you feel the power in the air? It's not anxiety, it's anticipation. Your spirit recognizes what your mind may not yet fully grasp. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. But to fully receive this shift, You must surrender. Let go of the old thoughts that said you were not enough. Release the patterns that kept you small, afraid, and disconnected from your truth. The divine shift requires trust. It may feel foreign, it may even feel frightening, but the discomfort is a sign that the old shell is breaking. You are not breaking down, you are breaking open. Let tonight be the line in the sand. Declare within yourself that the version of you who doubted, who delayed, who dimmed their light to make others comfortable, is no longer in control. The Spirit of God is rising within you now, aligning you with divine truth, sacred wisdom, and supernatural vision. The gifts, the clarity, the strength, they're already inside you. You're not waiting to become powerful. You're simply awakening to the power you've always carried. This divine shift you're experiencing, it's not just about transformation, it's about remembrance. You are not becoming someone new. You are remembering who you've always been at your core before the world told you otherwise. Beneath every fear, beyond every layer of conditioning, there is a sacred truth. You are not simply a human body living out a routine existence. You are a radiant spiritual being, God's light anchored into this reality for a higher mission. Have you ever wondered why the world around you never quite felt like home? As this sacred process unfolds, your spiritual potential is expanding. The material distractions that once occupied your mind and pulled you away from divine clarity are beginning to dissolve. What once consumed your energy, fear, people-pleasing, emotional clutter, is being stripped away. In its place, peace arises. With that peace comes clarity, and with clarity comes divine direction. Can you feel it already? That quiet inner knowing that your life is beginning to align with something far greater. This is your divine invitation. Rise. Rise beyond the limitations that once bound you. Rise into the identity God placed inside you before you entered this world. Rise into your purpose with boldness. Isaiah 60 verse 1 speaks directly to your moment now. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. You are not being asked to pretend to be powerful. You are being called to remember the power already woven into your spirit. As your body transitions from carbon to crystalline, you are stepping into a reality that is not bound by earthly laws. This isn't just a physical upgrade, it's a full awakening into your divine crystalline nature. You are becoming a vessel capable of holding and transmitting heavenly frequencies, a carrier of light, a bridge between dimensions. It may sound mystical, but this is the promise of spiritual evolution. Romans 8:19 tells us, "For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed." That revelation is happening in you right now. Your new crystalline body is not just a change in form. It is the activation of your divine blueprint, the full potential God encoded into you. Each cell is being recalibrated to receive and transmit higher frequencies of light, healing, wisdom, and divine insight. Think about it. Have you recently felt more sensitive to energy, sound, or emotion? That's not weakness, that's awakening. You are tuning in to the higher realms. The transformation is both subtle and sacred. You might notice small changes at first: greater emotional sensitivity, heightened intuition, a new awareness of subtle energies. These are signs that the dense, outdated layers of the past are falling away. Your body, once weighed down by spiritual amnesia, is now rising into remembrance. It's like shedding the cocoon and realizing you were always meant to fly. Real-life spiritual teachers have spoken about this evolution. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a scientist and author who blends neuroscience with quantum spirituality, often teaches that you are not a victim of your genes, you are a creator of your destiny. His teachings emphasize that we are all capable of rewiring our physical and energetic bodies by aligning with higher consciousness. What science now confirms, Scripture has always known. You are made in the image of a creator who lives in the unseen, Genesis 1:27. As your crystalline form continues to activate, you may feel lighter, clearer, even more youthful. This isn't a trick, it's divine biology at work. Your body is adapting to carry more light, more spirit, and more awareness. This transition will enable you to access realms of insight that once seemed unreachable. You may find yourself hearing the voice of God more clearly, feeling His love in your bones, and sensing the energy of others with profound clarity. The crystalline form is a living testimony of God's design, flexible, adaptable, tuned to truth. As you trust this process, your connection with the divine becomes deeper, more intimate, more undeniable. Like Jesus at the Transfiguration, where his face shone like the sun and his clothes became dazzling white, Matthew 17:2, your own spiritual light is beginning to glow from within. What if your glow is not just symbolic, but real, measurable, and sacred? You will soon begin to perceive the world not as a fixed material object, but as a living, breathing tapestry of interconnected divine energy. Love will no longer feel like an abstract concept, but a tangible frequency moving through your heart, into your actions, and out into the lives of others. You will realize that you were never just flesh and blood. You are spirit, encoded with God's essence. You are light, walking in form. You are chosen, not just to witness this age of awakening, but to lead in it. This is your awakening, and it is beautiful. Tonight is no ordinary evening. It is a sacred appointment, a divine crossing point between the old you and the radiant, expanded version that God has been preparing all along. This night marks a momentous elevation of your vibrational frequency, a profound shift that touches every layer of your being. This isn't a minor adjustment or a temporary feeling of inspiration. This is a soul-deep ascension, a spiritual recalibration designed by God Himself. Can you feel it? That deep surge of energy stirring in your chest, the subtle trembling of something greater waking up inside of you. This vibrational shift is the sound of heaven moving through your body. It is not just physical, it is spiritual, it's emotional, it's energetic. From the top of your head to the soles of your feet, divine power is rising within you, shaking off the old limitations and awakening your true essence. Just like the woman with the issue of blood who touched the hem of Jesus' garment and instantly felt power flow into her, Luke 8:46. Tonight, you are touching heaven, and heaven is touching you back. As your frequency rises, your reality begins to respond. What once felt like obstacles will now feel like invitations. What once drained you will begin to disappear, replaced by experiences, people, and blessings that match your new level of energy. Why is this happening? Because the law of spiritual resonance, what the world calls attraction, is now at work in your life. Jesus said, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." Luke 6:38. You're not just giving materially anymore, you're radiating frequency, and heaven is responding in kind. Have you noticed people showing up in your life who see your light before you even speak? Have you felt doors opening that seemed impossible just weeks ago? This isn't luck, it's alignment. As your vibration climbs, the energy around you rearranges. You begin to attract peace instead of chaos, opportunities instead of blockages, love instead of fear. You are moving into a higher dimensional reality, not as a visitor, but as a resident. And with this elevation comes vision. You are no longer limited to surface-level understanding. The secrets of heaven are beginning to unfold before your very eyes. Daniel, a prophet in exile, was given divine visions and dreams that surpass the understanding of his time. Daniel 1:17. You too are being given access to spiritual truths that were once hidden from you. As your frequency rises, your awareness expands, unlocking a deeper understanding of who you are and why you were sent to this earth. You may start receiving intuitive downloads, moments of sudden clarity, spiritual knowing, or even prophetic dreams. These are not imagination. These are divine messages. As your spiritual senses activate, your life becomes less about effort and more about flow, less striving, more receiving. What would your life look like if you moved fully in that flow? Even in the secular world, spiritual awakenings are acknowledged. Jim Carrey, known first as a comedic actor, went through a profound awakening that changed how he lived. He once said, "You are not the body. You are the awareness observing it." Though he doesn't align with traditional religion, he echoes a truth the Bible has declared for centuries. Your spirit is eternal, and when it awakens, your entire experience of life transforms. You are not just feeling this power tonight, it is moving through you. You are not only receiving energy, you are now a vessel of it. God is not simply blessing you, He is dwelling in you. 1 Corinthians 6:19 reminds you, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God?" This power you feel isn't separate from you. It is the living presence of the Spirit, now alive in every cell. So breathe deeply. Let go of the old fears. Feel the expansion happening inside you. This isn't the end of a spiritual high. It's the beginning of your new normal. Greater peace, greater joy, greater clarity. The transformation you feel is not a passing moment. It is your soul being clothed in power from on high. Luke 24:49, preparing you to walk in your highest purpose. You were not made to play small. You were not created to stay in survival mode. You are here to embody your divine essence, walk in your authority, and radiate light into a world desperately in need of it. Tonight, you're rising, not because you tried harder, but because you surrendered to the truth of who you already are. This is the divine power of your awakening, and it is only just beginning. You may not realize it at first, but the very moment your divine transformation begins, your entire being will start to hum with the subtle vibrations of change. These aren't random sensations. No, they are spiritual signals, indicators from heaven that your upgrade is now in motion. Have you felt them already? Perhaps a tingling deep within, an unexplainable shift in your emotions, or even a sudden awareness of energy that was once invisible to you? These small stirrings are not to be ignored. They are the first gentle signs that your body, your spirit, and your mind are beginning to align with the higher frequencies of the kingdom of God. At first, these signs may seem subtle, almost easy to overlook. You may simply feel more emotionally attuned or begin picking up on the unspoken feelings of others. Maybe your surroundings seem louder, brighter, or more intense than usual. These are not mere coincidences. They are spiritual upgrades in progress. Just like Samuel in the Bible, who heard the voice of the Lord but didn't recognize it at first. 1 Samuel 3:4-10. You may need time to discern what's happening within you, but rest assured, God is calling and your body is responding. As this divine process unfolds further, the changes will become more noticeable, more powerful. Your senses may sharpen dramatically. You might feel overwhelmed by certain sounds, sensitive to artificial light, or suddenly averse to foods that once comforted you. Why? Because your body is shedding its old energetic layers and preparing to operate in a new dimension, one of light, truth, and higher purpose. This may be uncomfortable at times, but don't let it scare you. Isn't it incredible to think that even your very cells are being recalibrated to match the energy of heaven? Even your energy levels may seem unpredictable, soaring one moment, then crashing the next. It's not exhaustion, it's integration. Like Moses, who had to climb the mountain repeatedly to commune with God, your spirit is ascending. You are stepping into a vibrational state that very few understand. But why now? Why you? Because you are one of God's chosen ones. This elevation comes with spiritual gifts too. You may find your intuition sharpening, your dreams becoming prophetic, or your discernment rising to new heights. You begin to hear what others cannot hear, feel what others cannot feel. You may start seeing patterns and spiritual truths unfold before you in the most unexpected places. Just like Joseph, who was given dreams that others could not interpret, Genesis 37:5-11, you are now being entrusted with insights meant to guide not only yourself, but those around you. How do you handle this sudden clarity? Do you question it or embrace it? Can you trust what your spirit is telling you, even when it contradicts the physical world around you? This transformation won't just affect you internally, it will ripple out into your relationships. As your frequency rises, it becomes impossible for people who are not on a similar path to remain connected to you. You may notice friends withdrawing, loved ones misunderstanding you, or certain environments becoming intolerable. But this isn't rejection, it's redirection. The people who leave are making room for those who are aligned with your new calling. Just as Abraham had to part from Lot in order to step into the fullness of God's promise, Genesis 13:8 through 12, you too must release certain connections to fully walk in your destiny. Even in the lives of public figures, we've seen echoes of this transformation. Take Jim Carrey, for example, an actor known for his wild humor who later revealed his deep spiritual awakening. He once said, "The effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. When your inner world changes, your outer world must follow." So ask yourself, are you truly ready for this upgrade God is placing upon your life tonight? Can you stay awake, not just physically, but spiritually, aware and alert as your body becomes a vessel of higher light? You are not here by accident. You didn't stumble upon this message by coincidence. You were guided here because you're already changing, and heaven wanted to confirm what your soul already knows. As your sacred transformation continues tonight, something remarkable is taking place beneath the surface. Something that cannot be seen with the eyes, but can be deeply felt in the soul. Your body, the very temple of your spirit, is now releasing ancient, limiting energies that have kept you bound for far too long. These energies are not simply emotional memories, they are spiritual imprints, remnants from painful experiences, broken relationships, and even unresolved lessons from past lifetimes. Like hidden chains, they have subtly influenced your decisions, shaped your beliefs, and dimmed your inner light. But tonight, those chains begin to break. This is not just a spiritual reset, it is a sacred cleansing ordained by heaven. You, God's chosen one, are being prepared for a higher mission. Just as Jesus fasted in the wilderness for 40 days to strip away all distractions before stepping into his public ministry, Matthew 4:1-11, you too must go through your own shedding process. The spiritual energy that once clung to you, fear of rejection, unworthiness, the belief that you're not enough, is now being drawn to the surface to be released. Have you noticed the emotions rising? That sudden wave of sadness that caught you off guard? The unexpected frustration or fatigue that seemed to come from nowhere? These are not setbacks. They are symptoms of release. Your body is literally detoxing, not only on a physical level, but on a soul-deep vibrational level. Like the Israelites wandering the wilderness after leaving Egypt, you are passing through a spiritual terrain that feels uncertain, but is necessary before entering your promised land. Exodus 13:17-18. It's common during this time to feel moments of grief or heaviness, even though nothing on the outside appears wrong. But what if these emotions are echoes of your past finally being given permission to leave? What if your sadness isn't weakness, but freedom breaking through? The fatigue you feel may not be from your daily tasks. It could be your very cells releasing emotional toxins, freeing themselves from burdens they've carried on your behalf. This kind of purging is not meant to harm. It's meant to heal. Think of it like refining gold in fire. The impurities rise to the top, only to be removed so what remains is pure, radiant, and unbreakable. Real-life transformations often follow a similar path. The late Chadwick Boseman, beloved for his role as King T'Challa in Black Panther, once said, "Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you." Though he battled a private illness, he never allowed it to dim his spiritual calling. In fact, he allowed it to strip away what didn't matter and elevate what did. His legacy of purpose. So tonight, as your body trembles with these inner shifts, will you resist the release or welcome it? This is your spiritual detox, your divine refinement, a necessary dismantling of all that has weighed you down so that you can rise with power, clarity, and divine truth. Let every tear be a testimony. Let every discomfort be a doorway, because what's leaving you now was never meant to stay. And what's coming next, oh chosen one, it is nothing short of glorious. As the night deepens and your spirit continues its awakening, you're being called into a sacred silence, a stillness where divine upgrades take place beyond human comprehension. What you're experiencing is not ordinary. This is not a moment that can be explained by science or logic. It is the mysterious language of heaven unfolding in you. God is not only healing you from the inside out, He is reshaping you to become a vessel of light, truth, and purpose. Have you ever wondered why this is happening now? Because the world is shifting, and you have been chosen to be part of the shift. You're not just being upgraded for yourself, you're being prepared to carry something greater, just as Esther was positioned in the palace for such a time as this. Esther 4:14. You are being positioned for a divine purpose that requires your body, mind, and soul to operate at a higher frequency. But before you can fully step into that purpose, you must surrender to the refining process. This is your wilderness. This is your Jordan River moment, and crossing it requires you to leave behind the old. The patterns, the doubts, the pain. They cannot go with you where you are going. During this upgrade, you may be drawn to solitude, pulled away from the noise of the world. That isolation is not punishment, it is preparation. Even Jesus withdrew to the mountain alone before performing miracles. Luke 5:16. In solitude, he listened. In silence, he aligned with the Father. In that same way, you are being pulled into alignment. Can you feel it? That quiet invitation to go deeper, to be still and know that He is God. Psalm 46:10. This is also why the people around you may not understand what you're going through. They might see the physical fatigue, but not the spiritual battle. They may notice your emotional shifts, but not recognize the purging of past lifetimes. But remember, Joseph's brothers didn't understand his dream until it came to pass. Neither will many understand your transformation until God reveals the finished work. In the world of business and influence, many leaders have experienced this inner reset before stepping into greatness. Maya Angelou, the legendary poet and civil rights activist, once shared, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." You too are in your cocoon season. You may feel hidden, unrecognizable, or unsure, but what's being formed in this darkness is divine. So ask yourself, will you trust the process even when you cannot trace the outcome? Will you believe that God is upgrading you not just for personal healing, but for a greater impact on the world? This transformation is holy. This silence is sacred. Tonight, while the world sleeps, your soul is being rewritten, and by morning you will not be the same. As the spiritual rewriting continues, your body becomes more than a vessel. It becomes a divine instrument. With each breath you take tonight, layers of illusion are falling away. The lies you once believed about yourself, that you're not worthy, that you're not enough, that you've made too many mistakes, are being burned off in the holy fire of God's truth. What if those painful beliefs weren't your own to begin with? What if they were inherited, implanted by a broken world, passed down like shadows from generation to generation? Tonight, that cycle ends with you. You are not just healing for yourself. You are healing for those who came before you and for those who will come after. Like Nehemiah rebuilding the ruins of Jerusalem brick by brick, Nehemiah 2:17-18. You are restoring the foundation of your lineage, starting from within your very cells. That's why the weight feels heavy, because the responsibility is sacred. And yet, you are not alone. God has assigned heavenly assistants to walk with you during this transformation. Angels are ministering to your spirit even now. Can you sense it? That unseen warmth brushing past you. That sudden peace that fills your chest when you least expect it. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Just like when Elijah, exhausted and ready to give up, was visited by an angel who told him to eat and rest for the journey ahead. 1 Kings 19:5-8. God is tending to you in quiet ways. In your moments of discomfort, when your body feels unfamiliar or your emotions surge like waves, remember, this is the labor before the birth. The upgrade you're undergoing is birthing a new version of you, stronger, lighter, clearer, and more spiritually equipped. You are not falling apart. You are being rebuilt with precision by the hands of the Creator. Many who have gone through this transformation have described a sudden urge to declutter, to clean their homes, to walk in nature, to cry without knowing why. These instincts are not random. They are the body's way of cooperating with the spirit's desire to make room. As Jesus said, you cannot pour new wine into old wineskins, Mark 2:22. You're making space for the new oil, the new light, the new calling that is being poured into you. Take a look at the lives of people who experience radical inner shifts before stepping into global impact. Nelson Mandela, before becoming a symbol of freedom for an entire nation, spent 27 years in prison. In those years of solitude, he was not just being confined, he was being spiritually refined. He later wrote, "I had to leave behind my bitterness and hatred. Those were chains I could not take with me into freedom." His story echoes yours. You cannot carry resentment, fear, or shame into your next season. So what must you leave behind tonight in order to rise tomorrow? What emotion, what memory, what identity are you being asked to release so that the real you can emerge? This upgrade is not something you chase, it's something you surrender to. It's not forced, it's revealed. And as you allow this divine process to continue, you will begin to recognize yourself not by your name, but by your light. You will see the world not through wounded eyes, but through divine vision. And the world will see you, not as who you were, but as who you truly are. As dawn approaches, something within you begins to rise, something ancient, powerful, and deeply divine. This is not simply a better version of your old self. No, this is your true self finally stepping forward. The one who was always there, buried beneath trauma, expectations, conditioning, and fear. The one God envisioned before the foundations of the earth were laid, Ephesians 1:4. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Can you feel the shift? You're no longer moving through the world in survival mode. Your senses are no longer dulled by the noise of the world. You now see more clearly. You now feel more deeply. The atmosphere around you reacts to your presence. Your very breath carries the frequency of divine transformation. Just like Paul after his Damascus encounter, once blind, now seeing, you've been awakened by the touch of God, and nothing can go back to the way it was before. Acts 9:1-19. This new awareness won't always be easy to carry. People may question you, you may question yourself, but trust this, what has begun cannot be undone. This is the nature of divine awakening. It expands you, breaks you open, and rebuilds you with heavenly blueprints. You no longer walk through life as a passive observer. You are now a creator, a conduit, a messenger of higher truth. And with this new state of being comes a responsibility. You are no longer meant to blend in. You are called to radiate. Your life is no longer about pleasing people. It's about fulfilling purpose. Your words will carry power. Your silence will carry presence. Your decisions will shift atmospheres. Can you carry that mantle? Can you walk in the weight of divine identity and still keep your heart humble? Think of David, the shepherd boy turned king. When Samuel anointed him, David didn't change immediately. He still had to face Goliath. He still had to run from Saul. But the oil was already on him. The identity had already been sealed. And so it is with you. The oil is on you now. Though you may not see the crown yet, heaven already calls you royalty, 1 Peter 2:9. Even in the modern world, we see this truth mirrored. A young Malala Yousafzai, who was nearly silenced by violence, rose up not in vengeance, but in grace. She once said, "When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful." Her spiritual resilience, awakened through suffering, became a beacon for millions. Your voice too, chosen one, is meant to be heard, not because it is loud, but because it is divinely charged. So the question now becomes, what will you do with this new version of yourself? Will you hide the light that's been awakened, or will you let it shine, even if others are uncomfortable? This is your invitation to step fully into your calling, to no longer apologize for your power, your presence, your sensitivity, or your spiritual insight. You are not too much. You are exactly enough. And you are rising, not as a reaction to the world, but as a reflection of heaven's intention. Tonight, your body was upgraded. But more than that, your soul remembered. You remembered who you are. You remembered whose you are. You remembered what you came here to do. Now that you've heard this message, chosen one, the shift has already begun. You are not who you were yesterday, and by the time the sun rises, you will step into the world carrying a different light, brighter, bolder, and undeniably divine. You are walking proof that God's power still flows through human vessels. So tonight, declare this with authority. I release all that no longer serves me. I receive all that heaven has prepared for me. I walk in full alignment with my divine assignment. I am chosen, and I am ready. You were not called to stay asleep. You were called to awaken a generation. You were not formed in confusion. You were designed in glory. And you are not being upgraded for comfort. You are being prepared for divine impact. As you rise into this new frequency, may every step you take echo with purpose. May your voice carry the sound of deliverance. May your presence shift atmospheres, and may your prayers open portals of favor, healing, and revelation wherever you go. If this message has stirred something deep within your soul, if you feel the vibrations of truth resonating through your spirit, I invite you to sow into this divine work. You can show your support with a super thanks below. And whether you give or not, know this: your presence here is already a gift. Thank you from the depths of my heart for walking this sacred path with us. If you feel this message was meant for you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a moment of divine truth, and share it with someone else who needs to remember who they are. And let us know in the comments by typing 777 if you're ready to walk boldly in your upgrade, chosen one. May God cover you with holy fire, restore you with holy oil, and release you with holy boldness. Tonight your body has changed, but tomorrow your world will. Stay awake, stay aligned, stay chosen. We'll see you on the other side of glory.